Matter of Opinion, Strategic Eye Show, and Rex Wu. There's definitely a collaboration. It's been a long time coming for us to do this collaboration. So right now my man Strategic is on duty, but he's taking the time to oh, let me sorry about that. Right now,
Nah,
Strategic is in his vehicle,
yeah, I just
you
got
know.
off. I just got off. This
Yeah, he
dude
just got
crazy.
off, whatever. Sorry
Yeah,
about that. Yeah, he just got off and in
yeah.
his vehicle. And
Hmm.
yeah, he took the time to actually, speak with us and everything like that on this collaboration. So before we get started or whatever, Rex Wu, you want to tell everybody about the channel? Now I know we're streaming on all of our channels, but this way people who are on, Matter of Opinion, people on Strategic Eyes channel, they can, know who you are and everything like that.
Oh boy, a quick introduction. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Well, what up, guys? My name's Rex. I make videos out of Tampa Bay, Florida, pretty much about talking about like self improvement and trying to give like everybody like good, useful advice that they can use to apply to their life. And every so often people write into me, and I try to give them as much useful advice back because it's so easy to pay attention to all these like crazy, weird stuff out there and people get all caught up in that and they think the world is going to crap, but like when you actually open your eyes and pay attention, the world is still a beautiful place. America's still a beautiful country, and there's
Hmm.
beautiful people. And and if you want to meet those beautiful people, you got to be beautiful yourself. So I try to
Hmm.
give people like
Hmm.
advice on just being better, just
Yeah.
and because together we make the world a better place.
Yeah, and
That's
one
kind of
thing I
cheesy.
one thing I definitely want to say, Rex, is I know you're real good with Bitcoin and everything like that, and helping people invest.
Hmm.
Because I checked out some of your channels and like you seem pretty knowledgeable in the topic or whatever. So we're gonna finally start completing the series of helping people get financial wealth and building their
Oof.
credit and everything like that
I
and
am.
financial freedom. So I would love to have a episode with you so you can help, break down certain things on those topics or whatever. I like to pick your brain on it.
I am 1,000% about helping people make better, smarter financial decisions.
Yeah,
A
definitely.
thousand percent.
Definitely. All right, Statij, you want to give an introduction to your channel and everything like that?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. It's a pleasure to be here. Strategic Guys Show, active duty police officer. You guys know what my show is all about. We talk about everything. I'm definitely interested in checking out that collaboration you're going to do
Yeah.
about that Bitcoin, man. You guys are awesome. I love Bitcoin. I want to learn how to make more money off Bitcoin. So I will be one of your students, absolutely, when you finish that series. Um, but yeah, we talk about everything. The show started out as a way of liaisoning the African American community with law enforcement, and it just branched off from there to just be just completely about all social issues, politics, race relations, law enforcement, etc. So it's a pleasure to be here. It's always great doing collaborations with you guys, and yeah, let's do it, man.
Yeah, definitely. And I was just talking to Rex Wu before we started the live, how I literally sat and watched your 4 hour plus live. Yeah, I dropped the comment in there too, but yeah,
Yeah,
man, like
I read it
yeah,
with Corona.
yeah, exactly. But yo, it's like because we all know in the YouTube world, like everybody's
Hmm.
attention span is like 5-10 minutes or whatever.
Yep.
So the fact that
Right.
I actually sat through a 4 hour live, I was like, yo, but not for nothing, the content was that great. You get what I'm
Yeah, it
saying?
was a good
Yeah,
discussion, and
it was a great discussion.
it showed a lot about the space that a lot of African Americans are in
Hmm.
psychologically.
Hmm.
When dealing with this trauma and this topic of racism and its historical, where so many people just stuck in a rut,
Yeah,
and sometimes we can't even see our own biases when it's right in front of us. You know what I'm saying? So it
exactly.
was really interesting watching the evolution of that caller go from supportive and kind to just mean and ignorant once her beliefs were challenged.
Yeah,
So it is what it
yeah,
is, man.
exactly.
Always a pleasure.
All right, so as far as our show, Matter of Opinion, basically it's a debate show, and we also try and cover news that media isn't really talking about.
Hmm.
And we also try and shed a different perspective on a lot of like police interaction videos, things of that nature. Because the way I see it in the black community, it's like we seem to not look at ourselves. We seem to point the fingers at everybody else. You get what I'm saying? So I try and like give people a different perspective to help bring awareness that we actually can do better as a people or whatever. And I also, like I said, like to speak on topics that a lot of people is are not speaking about. And I feel like, be a voice for those who feel like they're not being heard. Like it could be good or bad. Like example of a good video was you had a blind boy at the age of 15 who's actually a starting quarterback for a high school football team. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
So
wow.
covered that story on how he started and everything, and now this guy, he's eventually like gonna have a do a interview with Ellen. Hopefully he shoots out matter of opinion. So, because I spoke to the family and everything. They're like, thank you for covering the channel, yada yada. So, stuff like that. And also talk about, bad news they're not talking about, like the 13-year-old boy who, was killed on a what is that, a sports bike or whatever, a dirt bike. A
Mhm.
lot of people is looking to blame the police officers, but I'm like, no, look at the parents because that boy shouldn't have been on the bike anyway, you know? And then you got
Mm.
Tia doing her thing, covering celebrity news, helping with education, stuff like that. So, Tia, you want to say a little something yourself or?
A little. Y'all had like 15 minutes.
No,
um,
sexist, sexist.
but
We got to cancel matter of opinion. I can't be on this toxicity.
Mhm. Toxic.
but you'll get a little bit of that. Thankfully to Walls P, I have my little segment, Who
Mhm.
Asked Tia? And as he mentioned, we cover a little bit of the celebrity hot topics that's going on. And I also cover a lot of stuff with education. So for those of you who are new to the show, I'm a big advocate of education.
Mhm.
And if you ever need assistance, I also have a public Instagram page, Thoughts of a First Gen Grad. So if you ever need resources, you're looking for a job, you need someone to look over your resume, maybe you need assistance with changing fields, whatever it may be. Or maybe you need someone to conduct a workshop for you or your department. I'm that person too. So
Yep.
whatever it is, make sure that you definitely tune in, subscribe to all of our channels,
Yep.
and thank you for that. I'm off my
Yep.
soapbox now.
All right. Jack of all trades. All right.
Exactly.
So let's get started with the subject matters that we're gonna tackle in this live. So the first topic. Oh, I can't wait to hear Strategic's point of view on this.
Yeah.
It's straight out of Hazlehurst, Mississippi. Now this happened on Sunday, January 2nd, and it was Officer LaQuandia Cooley that responded to a shooting.
Mm.
And when she gets to the crime scene, it's a sight that she'll never forget. Pretty much, soon as she's pulling up to the crime scene, the first thing she says is, "That's my son,"
Wow.
which was
Mm.
the victim's name, who's her son, is Charles Stewart Jr., 20 years old. She just saw him laying there dead in the streets.
Mm.
Now, let me play this video clip for y'all so this way y'all can get a good breakdown of everything. All right, so here we go. Let me know if y'all can hear
A
it.
Hazlehurst police officer responds to a
Y'all can hear it?
Yes, we can hear
All
you.
right.
shooting only to find the victim is her own son. The incident happened on Larkin Street yesterday morning, just a few blocks away from the police department. 300 Side's Holly Emery speaks with the mother about her heartbreak and painful discovery.
Early Sunday morning, Officer LaQuanda Cooley responded to a shooting here on Larkin Street. But little did she know she was about to walk into her worst nightmare.
We initially responded to the call. Not knowing when I made it over there, the person was going to be my son. That was laying there.
20-year-old Charles Stewart Jr. was laying in the middle of the street after being shot in the head. When his mother, Officer Cooley, arrived at the scene, he had already died.
As we get out, I look and I was like, this is my son. This is my son. So I literally just went to a breakdown, like, why? Who would do this to my...
Yeah, that's sad, man. And the sad part about it is that since that's a family member, you could correct me if I'm wrong, Satij. Since that's a family member, she can't partake in any of the case, correct?
Wow.
Right. Yeah. She can't obviously because it's a conflict of interest
Yeah.
and it's personal and biases would be involved and all that good stuff. But yeah, man, that's really sad. But unfortunately, due to the circumstances, she's already a part of the case. So even in this circumstance, some of that has to be waived because she's the first responding officer. She's the one who witnessed the scene in its first iteration with police coming upon it.
Let me
So
ask you something. Let me ask you something. Has there been cases where an officer, it was a relative or family member that actually like was the victim that they reported to they was the first on the scene, whatever, and they actually partake in the investigation?
No, I mean, when we
Okay.
say partake in investigation, it just doesn't work that way. It's just bad practices, bad policy. No, I don't think
Okay.
any police department would do, like, even in like small police departments
hmm
where there's only like 3-4 officers, they
Yeah, yeah.
probably allow the sheriff or the state police to take over the investigation. But she is a witness in a
Okay.
sense that if God willing they find the person or persons who killed her son, she would still have to testify as to what she saw when she came on the scene.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
once again, she was one of the first responding officers, and that's important. We
Yeah.
can't discount what she witnessed simply because she's the mother of this child. It's very sad. Very sad.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
really is.
Mm.
Here's a question that I have for you, because I'm gonna let y'all give y'all takes and everything like that. But the question that I have for you guys before y'all go to y'all takes is, if that was you, how would you have like react? Like, what would your reaction be for you to arrive on a crime scene? And even if you're not a cop or something like that, you're passing by an accident, and when
Mhm.
you pass by the accident, you see it's your child. Like, what would your reaction be?
I would lose my mind. And
Oh
I'm
yeah.
just going to go out on a limb here and I'm going to say that maybe because she was a police officer, maybe
hmm
she thought she could like keep him away from those sort of things.
Mm.
So to be a police officer and then have to respond to that type of situation, I would have lost my mind.
Yeah.
I can't
And
even imagine how she feels.
one thing to note, they said like he wasn't into any criminal activity or anything like
Mhm.
that. That's what it says as of right now. Now, when more information come out, we'll know. But as of right now, the information they're saying like he wasn't a troubled child or anything like that.
Do you think it's a possibility that maybe they had a retaliation? Maybe they couldn't get to his mom, so they got to him? Like, is that a
Ooh.
possibility?
I for me, I feel like that might be a stretch
Hmm.
with that, but because me personally, I just feel like it was a situation, wrong place at the wrong time.
Okay.
Because we see that a
Hmm.
lot, that people get
We
killed
do.
who are just innocent bystanders from gun violence. You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
Rex, I'll let you get in and give your point of view on things.
I mean, it's just like the worst situation ever. Like no parent should ever have to not just bury their own child, but see the death of their own child. Like
Yeah.
I can't think of anything possibly worse. I mean, my only thing is like I'm just wondering at this point, like, does the do police departments have a procedure for this? Because I can't imagine that this is the first time that something of this nature has happened, and like,
Mm.
can she even continue to do her job at this point? Because that
That's a
level
good.
of that level of PTSD is off the charts at this point.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's a good point. I
Yeah.
didn't even think about
I'll
that,
let
man.
strategics answer
Give
that
us
one.
analysis.
Oh well, I answer that question, but first to answer Tia's question, police officers know what a lot of people in society at large don't want to admit. Some people are admitting it, but it's just not being spoke about as much as it should be. That times are getting more violent.
Yeah.
It's getting more dangerous out there. These criminals are more violent. They're not complying with police officers. They're killing people. This is in a wanton nature, not caring, no mercy, no nothing. So I definitely don't think that this was some type of organized hit.
hmm
For the most part, criminals, even this era of criminals, respect that cops got a job to do. So criminals are going to do what they're going to do, and cops are going to do what they're going to do. They don't usually take it personal, where they're going to come after you after work. But so I think it was just random violence. Now, to answer Rex's question, there's a policy for everything in the police department. And if your police department never dealt with it before, you're going to borrow policy of a nearby police department who has. And the policy is just going to be you separate her from the event. I mean, I'm pretty sure I wasn't on the scene, but I'm pretty sure she's like, "Oh my God, that's my son." And her other officers are like, "Okay, we got to get you out of here." And there are chaplains and resources that are given to the officer.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, police departments don't have a lot of mercy. If you can't get over it, they'll psych you off the job. You'll literally lose your
Wow.
job due
Wow.
to yeah. I mean, unless you could get a play for some type of social security for the mental trauma, if that's why there's a lot of mental illness and a lot of suicide in policing, because people are afraid to say what they're going through. Because if you say, "Hey, listen, I'm having these issues because of the things that I've seen and things I've experienced," they'll remove you from the job.
Yeah.
It's called being psyched off. You go through a
That's
panel to say you're not mentally fit, and then you'll lose your job as though you did something wrong.
You saw the article I sent you about those 2 police officers, right? Did you get it? It was the
The last few
oh,
days have been crazy.
okay.
Just getting
I
over
sent
COVID, and then mommy caught COVID.
I sent
Yeah.
you an article. It was about these 2 police officers. I think they were they were married, whatever. And I believe it was the husband wind up committing suicide, and then shortly after, the wife commits suicide too.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? That I sent you that
Wow.
article, and I was like, "Yo, this might interest you for you to cover or whatever." But yeah,
Mhm.
it's deep, man. It's deep. So
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from. But wow, I didn't know it. Like the police, like it had no mercy like that. Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, and
I,
I'll
I
say
I
that
mean,
it's starting to change. Like in my department, they're starting to change, and they're like, "Please don't be afraid," and all that stuff, because we had a lot of suicides at one point. But the culture, you can't change a culture overnight.
Yeah,
What I explained to you is the culture. It's been like for decades, and now they're trying to get better with it. But it is what it is.
this
I'm,
is one thing. This is one oh go ahead, Rex. You was about to say something.
so I was gonna ask him like, do I mean, I don't know what city you work, but like, so I guess your
Oops.
answer to this will just be unique to yours,
Sorry.
Hmm.
but but
Ad.
um,
Sorry about that ad.
it's fine.
DJ push play.
All right, but like, what is like the mental health procedures at most police departments as far as you're aware of? Because I would imagine like the type of trauma witnessed on a police officer's job is unlike most other people's jobs. The only thing equivalent would
Yeah.
be the army or Marines, but like
Hmm.
even they like don't receive a lot of mental health help when they come
Hmm.
back from war. And I'm like, I have a really good buddy who's also NYPD, and he
Hmm.
tells me like it's practically non-existent as far as it. He kind of parroted what you said before, where you said like if they speak up, they either get pulled off the streets or pulled off the job or pulled out all together. I mean, is there a growing movement? Because I think like everyone knows like we have a mental health problem going on, not just in America, but in like most of the developed world, because we're all, we're stuck behind screens all day. We don't really
Right.
interact as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
So
Absolutely.
is
yeah.
there a I guess my question is there a growing movement to get police officers the mental health help that they desperately need?
Well, I'm a police officer in the state of New York, so I don't say what department I work for because
Hmm.
it's against the policy. But just to give you at least know what state I work in, um, it's always self help. It's like there are resources. We are in 2021, 2022. It's not the 1940s. There are resources out there, but you have to go and get those resources. There is no automatic mental health. Like for instance, if if you're involved in, let's say you come on a scene and a child is dead, however, heinously, naturally, whatever, there's nobody who's going to automatically say, okay, this job that you just handled falls under this category, and now you have to go see somebody to debrief and make sure that you're mentally sound. That doesn't happen. And a lot of it is just us as a society. We don't want to pay for these things.
Yeah.
Like we don't want to,
Yeah, that's true.
add 50 million onto the police budget because you had to hire, another 100 counselors and would give them benefits and retirement and all that stuff. Just like how, we say police reform and all that stuff, and we cut police budgets, but we don't actually enact any of these programs that keep people out of trouble because we don't want to spend that money.
Hmm.
So that's
Yep.
the big issue is in America lately, This is not our history. Our history is about building big and building better and all that beautiful stuff. But we have these high flying ideals and dreams, but we don't want to spend for it, and therefore they never happen. So
That
no,
is
we don't.
a fact.
We hate cops, so we absolutely do not want to spend for their mental health well being. That's basically the reality of it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Uh,
crazy.
it sucks too because it sounds pretty much like as a cop, man. It seems like you just got to be strong minded, man,
Yeah,
because
you do.
it's like it appears there's resources for you, but it's not being fully utilized, so to speak, because like you said, they don't want to spend the money for it. You know?
That's why like cops like me who come from the inner city, from poverty, from the hood, we fare better because we already have enough PTSD from growing up in the hood. We can't
Exactly.
get any extra
Exactly.
PTSD from working a
Exactly.
job.
Exactly. It's like, yo, I done seen it all growing up. So here's just another day in the hood. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, I get it. Yo, this is what I will say though, man. I will say this. Thank God whoever the perp wasn't at the scene.
Right.
Oh
Because
yeah.
I think it would have been a
Oh
big
shit.
misunderstanding. And I
Oh
tell
yeah.
you this, if
Hmm.
I was a jury that was, supposed to give judgment, giving my pick for, the case or whatever,
Hmm.
I'm not giving a guilty verdict.
Mm.
I'm not giving a because wholeheartedly, yo,
Mm-hmm.
I feel her retaliation
Yeah.
would have been justified. Straight up,
Mm.
would have been justified. That's just my opinion. I don't know like how you guys strategic don't speak on it. Don't speak on it,
He's
whatever.
gonna
Yada, yada.
incriminate himself.
Exactly. So, but
No,
yeah,
I
I
mean
don't
no.
know how you
There's, I mean, it's not justified. I mean, it's a turn of circumstance. If you come and he still has the gun and he's refusing to
yeah.
drop the gun, then of course it's justified if you use deadly physical force on him. But it's not justified if she kill him. But there is a defense to it,
No, I
which
trust
is
me.
it's a crime of passion
I
and
know I know
temporary
what
insanity.
I know 100% it's not justified. I'm
Mhm.
talking
Right.
if she showed up to the scene, the guy dropped the gun, hey, I give my
Hmm.
and she ended him. I'm not putting in a
But
guilty verdict.
there's a legal defense for it
Yeah, I
that
know. Yeah,
you might be able to say not guilty, not because you sympathize with her, but
yeah,
literally because she's not guilty.
exactly.
Because
Yeah,
she was temporarily insane off of watching the fact that you murdered a kid.
Absolutely.
exactly. Just think about it. If you walk in the house and you see a grown like somebody breaking your house, whatever, right? And let's just say you have a little daughter or something like that, and 4 or 5 years old or whatever, and a grown man is aping Ray her.
Hmm.
Mm.
That's Pig
Hmm.
Latin. So those who don't know Pig
Hmm.
Latin, look it up.
Hmm.
Yo, if that person just spazzed out and killed that person,
Well,
I
in
don't
New
see.
York,
Yeah,
you you are legally
fully.
justifiable to use deadly physical force during the commission of a ape.
Okay,
Period.
okay.
So it's not about whether you could be a stranger on the street and you hear commotion in the alleyway and you see that happening and you got a gun on you or a knife, you can kill the guy.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, before we go on, I want to give before we go on, I want to give some
That's
shout
all you
out.
gotta know. We gotta know the law, but go ahead, my fault.
Yeah, I'm gonna give some shout outs. It says, let me see, paired Google account. So I don't really know who that is or whatever, but okay, Black
Google account
Sheepdog.
that's winter mule.
Oh, okay. Black Sheepdog is in the building. What's up, Black Sheepdog? We
Hey
got Shawnee.
Tony.
Black
we got
Sea Dog don't love strategic no more, bro. He's taking a vacation from me.
we got Agro Vixen in the building. What's up, Agro? We got Dez in the building. Let's see who else. We got June Sajay. What's up, Cuzzo? We
Mhm.
got James Dark. This name seemed like it's in Russian or something. I don't know.
You don't read
I, I,
Russian, man? Come on.
I don't know.
Yeah, right?
Look, I skipped the class. My bad. My bad. I was
Mhm.
mischievous. Two husbands and a bachelor. What's up? Is in the building. Definitely check out their channel. They have some real good
They
discussions.
do. I
Yeah,
I
subscribe. They're
saw them in
good.
my feed before. I got to check them out.
yeah,
Oh
definitely
yeah,
check
they're
them out.
good.
They
Hmm.
have some good
Hmm.
discussions on there. All right, so yeah. Tia, did you have anything to, or Rex Wu to say on the subject matter or whatever? But I just say, man, for that officer, like definitely my condolences. And
Absolutely.
yo, that is a hard situation to go through. And like I said, when it comes to kids dying before their parents, or kids dying, period, people
Yeah.
dying in general, but for your kid to
Hmm.
go before you, that's something I would not wish on my worst enemy. Like that's something like, yeah. So my condolences to her, her husband, everybody involved. Like my condolences, sincerely, to them. And I hope they definitely, find the perp that did it and get their justice that they deserve.
I agree. And I'm
Absolutely.
a big advocate for therapy, and I hope that his mom, as well as the dad,
Hmm.
and everyone else in the family, I hope that they get some counseling very soon,
Hmm.
because that's something you don't want to sit on. You definitely want to work through those issues before they escalate.
Do y'all notice that Tia paused to throw the dad in there, like a second thought?
Here you go. Now see, nobody said nothing. You just had to, you know what? I got you. I got
Alright,
you.
you got
Where is the dad?
nah, the dad, yeah, the dad was they mentioned the dad in the article or whatever, but
Mm.
we don't get shine like that. So
But in
Man,
my
listen.
defense, I did mention the dad.
nah,
See,
you did.
always busting
I'm
my
just messing
chops.
with you.
That's all right.
Anything for you to say on it, Rex?
I mean, I wrote down like
Oh, knock yourself
I
out.
wrote
Go
down the
ahead.
four questions.
Yeah, go
We're
ahead.
limited on time. I know strategic can't be a forever, so I'm just gonna pick the top one, which is that like you mentioned before, like if there's something going down and you're a witness to it, you're justified in using force to stop it, right? Um,
Depends on what it is, but go ahead.
depends. So, which
Hmm.
is exactly my question. Like, obviously, there's limits to everything. Is there a
Hmm.
limit to like the amount of force that, at least where you're at, that someone can use? And is it limited to just police officers, or is like can civilians do it too? Like, if I'm a
No,
trained martial artist, or if
the
I'm
for, the force you have to use is always the force that's necessary to stop the threat, or well, police officers can do force a step above everybody else. That's what differentiates it. So, for instance, all right, if you punch me, I can use my baton. If you
Mhm.
take a knife, I can use a gun. We can always go a force level above. When I said that there are certain things that you use deadly physical force for, these are things that are in New York penal law. That means that other states have different rules. So
Mhm.
you're in California, so some of those things may not be applicable for you. But in
Florida,
New York, if you, oh, you're Florida, yeah, Tampa, right? My apologies.
yeah.
Better looking ladies, so my apologies. I'm sorry for disrespecting you. Now,
100%, 100%. My man knows. My man's been down here before, and I don't know why he left. Let me know when you're down here again, brother.
appreciate it, man. So, like for instance, it's arson. So if you see somebody um with a Molotov cocktail and they're about to throw it, you can use deadly physical force to stop them because
Mm.
arson is important. Rape,
Mhm.
kidnapping, the murder. These are all the things that you really can't think about how much force to use. There are things that are happening at that moment, so you have to use the highest level of force because it's more important for you to stop it then take the chance of you not being able to stop it. If somebody's about to murder somebody and you do a lesser than lethal force on that person and then it doesn't work and they end up killing a person, then we all lose as a society because that person's dead. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? If a kid is about to be kidnapped, you can't think, well, should I hit him first, punch him first? No, you got to shoot him because if you hit him and it doesn't stop him and he takes that kid, maybe that kid is now ex-abused and then murdered and we find him in a ditch a week later. You know what I'm saying? So those are the things in New York's penal law that says if you see these things happening, of course, if you can stop, if you walk in on that ex-abuse and you're like, stop, get off her, and the guy stops, you can't kill him.
Mhm.
But if you're like, stop, get off her, and he's keep going, then you can kill him. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You can use that force if that's the force you need to use to stop him. If you see the person with the Molotov cocktail, you know, what are you doing? And they're still about to throw it, all right, you can kill them. But at least you try. But like stuff like rape and murder is like the law's like I'm saying that's what I would do. I'm kind of putting in my personal thing, but the law doesn't say that. It doesn't say that in
Mhm.
the penal law. It doesn't
Yeah.
give you those examples. It just says you'll
Mhm.
kill them.
Yeah. Yeah. You got another question that you want to ask Rex?
No, I think we gotta keep it moving along. I don't want to.
bet.
I can't be too selfish.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. All right. So Tia, you want to lead us into the second subject matter of the day?
Sure. So I'm not sure if you all are aware because I don't think it's really getting enough coverage. But 23-year-old Lauren Smithfield, she's from was from Connecticut, was found mysteriously murdered in her apartment, and her family is demanding answers because they don't feel like the police department is doing enough. Because the male that she was last known with, she met online, and he happened to be a Caucasian male. So apparently, they think he was such a nice guy. They let him go, didn't even bother to question him. And the other thing that I found peculiar is that they didn't even release his name. And it's funny because she's a social media star. You know, I'm not exactly sure how many followers she has, but if you remember when Gabby Petito was missing, everybody and their mama, every state, like I remember, even the news for our area was covering it. And I'm like, wait a minute, was she lost in New Jersey, or was this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was so much, but on this situation, I don't really hear anything.
And another thing to also note is that it was that man that called the police that notified that she was dead in the apartment.
Right.
Yeah.
The guy that she met up with.
Yes.
Yep.
The older white man.
Wasn't she?
Yeah.
She was like an Instagram thought, right, or something like that, right?
No,
Wait.
they didn't say no. They didn't say she was.
No, wait a
Nah,
minute.
listen, no disrespect.
She was on Instagram.
She was
wasn't a
she was
thought.
an Instagram thottie, man.
She was?
But that doesn't mean she deserved to die. I'm just saying.
Yo, you disrespectful, man.
I'm
I'm
done.
clutching
I'm
my
sorry.
imaginary pearls right now.
Yo, but she
No,
did have
it was a sugar daddy she met up with.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's what
It
I was
was.
thinking.
She was an Instagram model, and she met up with the dude, and he was a sugar daddy. And because I like I said, I didn't review this article, unfortunately, because so much was happening to me. But I actually read this before, and I believe that that he's very rich and influential.
Of course.
And yes, I joke and say she's an Instagram thottie, and I'm sorry, I've been so desensitized with this crazy ass job. I'll never be the same again. But this does look like an instance of corruption, and it does look like they're favoring this guy because of his power, and this is being swept underneath the rug because I haven't heard anything about an autopsy being done. Was there toxicology?
And
Did she overdose?
You know what?
Was she shot? We don't know.
The father said he paid for his own autopsy out of his own.
And what was the result?
They didn't say what the results was yet as of currently, but I'm trying to read up and see like every day checking on it to see if they have an update or whatever. But they said there was no drugs or anything in her system or anything like that. So that was confirmed.
We're talking about a beautiful woman in her prime that just dies. It doesn't really happen like that. There has to be something else that caused it. But this is a dangerous game a lot of these ladies are playing because, there's that white girl that went out to Dubai with the African prince dude, and she ended up dead. We had the beautiful lady down in Florida. I think she was in Florida, and the stalker dude killed her.
Yeah.
This is a dangerous game, man. It's a real dangerous game because these guys may have money, but a lot of them have so low self-esteem, and a lot of them are sick and demented. And I don't know, but this definitely seems like there's a lot of corruption going on. And from what I remember reading, this guy's connected, and he's got a lot of money and a lot of power, and that's why he's being handled the way he's handled, and it's unfortunate.
Shout out to TNT Cycles. Thank you for joining the live stream. Okay, so, well, Rex Wu, I see you taking notes and everything like that. I want to hear what you got to say on the matter.
I mean, the thing that the strategic pointed out the most is, this is not an isolated incident. This is something that's happening over and over again, not just in the Northeast, but like all around America. And I think this is definitely a symptom of like greater breakdowns of society that we're experiencing because, we teach people to interact through 128 characters on Twitter. We teach people to interact through 10-second videos on TikTok. and people like they don't learn how to properly like they grow up not knowing how to properly analyze the situation and do corrective analysis on whether or not a situation should go forward or not. And I'm not trying to say like this was like this is okay. I'm just saying like this is like kind of like the world that we're coming into, and these are like the greater symptoms of what's going on. Like where do we go from here? How do we like prevent, because I mean things like this are going to keep happening because people are going to be people. How do we protect our vulnerable people from experiencing this again? Is what I'm wondering right now.
This is what I say, man. Like women, because let's look at it. Like you said, this is a
here we go.
situation. No. There's a situation of being a sugar of a sugar daddy situation, or whatever.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna say is, like
Mhm.
women, even if you see somebody that's a target that you could see as a sugar daddy or anything like that, if you're gonna meet up with somebody who you see as, let's just call them an ops or whatever, meet them in public places, because nowadays you don't know who you're running into, who you're meeting, whatever the case may be. And when I was driving home thinking about this topic, whatever, I was thinking to myself, like, yo, even if you know, having this guy pay to play, whatever, do it at
Mhm.
your homegirl house or whatever the case may be. Now, some
Right.
people would be like, yo, I'm not doing that at my homegirl house. Okay, but
Yeah.
let me ask you, would you rather do it at your homegirl's house, or take the risk of this person abusing you or whatever the case may be?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
the reward is higher than the risk if you elect to go that route with it. Because at the end of the day, you don't know who the person is, because when I get it, you want the bag, you see this person has a lot of money, whatever, so you got your eyes on the prize, and you just forget all your logic go out the window, and
But
you
I
got
want to push back on Tia though when you
yeah,
done, man. Because
okay,
this ain't no Gabby with Petito. Gabby Petito was a hippie. She was a little flower child. This is a prostitute. Come on, let's be
But
serious,
technically, we
man.
don't have proof of
yeah,
that. We
we
are
don't
making
really have, yeah.
assumptions. We are
Come
making
on, man.
assumptions. We don't even know
She
who the gentleman was that she met. Like
she
they
on
didn't release his
Instagram.
name.
See,
But still,
I'll
we
say
don't
this
have
strategic. I'll say this strategic. You're talking through emotions, not the
I
facts.
know, right? No facts,
exactly.
man. No facts. Yo, the
Exactly.
corona changes you. It's science, man. It
But
changes your
at the
brain, bro.
but at the end of the day, it is still somebody's
No,
child that was murdered. It was
let me.
still, so we don't know what the
Tia,
facts are, so we can
Tia,
assume.
He's
let
messing
Yes.
me
with you.
redeem myself, Tia. I'm sorry. Let me redeem myself. I'm
See now,
being an asshole.
no, I'm gonna take my super chat back.
Oh no! Yo,
Low blow, low
that's
blow,
all.
low
That's the only
blow.
Went there.
$20 I made in the last 6 months. Listen, this is unacceptable. We need justice. No, seriously, no. Let me not be a dick, because I'm having fun. I'm in a really good
Yeah,
mood because I've been sick like crazy for the
yeah,
last
yeah,
few days.
yeah,
But you can't have fun at people's expense.
yeah.
This is a family that could be watching this, and sometimes you forget that as
Absolutely.
a YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't matter what the hell she was doing, because that's whatever. Let's say it's the most nefarious thing on the planet. People do that every fucking day, and it
Mhm.
doesn't make her less than a human. So I'm just joking, and I
Yeah.
apologize. It does look like that was corruption, and regardless of whether they had whatever agreement or not, the agreement was not for her to die.
Exactly,
And
Yeah.
even
exactly.
if that guy is innocent, he needs to be investigated. You can't just assume he's innocent because he's got money and he's quote unquote a nice guy. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
I'm
So
100%
how do you
on
catch a
Tia's
guy like
side.
this?
How do you
Well,
catch
we
a guy
gotta.
like that?
Well, first of all, you got to do your job, and you
Mhm.
got to have more to say than just somebody's a nice guy.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
What the hell does that mean? That
yeah.
has nothing to do with what we're investigating here. Because
See,
nice guys kill all the
yeah,
time.
Yes,
see,
they do.
what I think what I think people want is, they want the cops to do their job of at least investigating and trying to press charges on this guy. Now, if he's
Exactly.
well connected and beat the system because he know judges, whatever the case may be, that's a different story. That's a whole nother issue that we got to deal with. But
Well, he might be innocent though.
no, he might be.
But
He might no.
so
He
what
might
the
be
people need is for you to show them we did an autopsy and we
exactly,
Exactly.
saw that this
exactly.
happened. and
Exactly.
we checked the whole scene and we didn't see any weapons or foul play or blood splatter. You know what I'm saying? Like people want to hear those facts,
Exactly.
and then it's like, okay, he just came to do his thing and she somehow died, but he has nothing to do with it. You can't just say, oh, he's a nice guy, so we didn't speak to him.
Yeah, because think about it. The parents, the parents of the victim, they don't want to hear that. You want to
they
see
don't.
some type of work or investigation going in, questioning them. I mean, thoroughly question them. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? Because there's times where even like if I call the cops, for something that happened, whatever. Like for instance, I call in the car or something like that,
Yeah.
and this now cops don't do that, but I remember I locked keys in the car, whatever. Cop came, jimmied it, whatever. And once he jimmied it, got in the car, he still was asking questions. Is this your vehicle? Can I see the registration? Who is this? The person on the registration? Who is this to you? Doing their
Right.
diligence of asking questions. So that's
Yeah.
all that people. That's all that I'm pretty sure that this young woman parents are basically asking for. Just do your job.
But it's dumb corruption because it's lazy corruption because they could have, if you really want to cover it up, you could just pretend like you did the job and say, yeah, we did a thorough investigation. So far, it's no foul play. Like to tell the parents that he's a nice guy and we're not even questioning him, kind of just begs for them to make noise.
Yeah.
So I just find that very weird. This whole situation is weird. I look forward for some more information.
No, you're absolutely right. And the other thing is too, because as you mentioned, it happens every day. And with the pandemic, a lot of people have opted to go online in terms of meeting people. And it doesn't even have to be dates. It could even literally be, what is it, meetups, I think it is. Like if you want to meet like-minded people to do certain activities. And you bring up a really good point. You have to be careful. Meet in a public place, or, I know back in the day, people used to do this. You would meet someone, even if it was at a restaurant, but you had a friend sitting like at another table and you give that hand gesture when it's like, all right, it's safe. And then they leave, little things like that people need to start doing. And, we can't get too comfortable. As you mentioned, things are getting crazy out here.
Yep. So
Yeah.
Rex Wu, did I answer your question a little bit, or did we answer the question that you had?
No, I mean, it definitely got us started off into an interesting direction, and I think there's definitely a lot more. And because I mean, we don't have any evidence of anything right now. All we're doing right now is theory crafting. Like we don't know. This guy could be innocent. He could be or he could be O.J. Simpson. We don't really know. So I mean, the only thing we can think of is, I mean, I actually looked up the Yahoo News article, and it did say that one of the officers that was investigating this case did get pulled from the case. So I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
Yeah. But here's the question that goes in my mind, though, is that how did this guy call up the police and tell them, yo, she's dead in her apartment?
Yeah.
Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, the fact that he called and said, yo, she's dead in her apartment. Like, where do we go from there? And I know I asked Strategic about this before. Maybe you could reiterate me again, but what is the percentage of people who actually call and be like, yo, such and such happened, whatever, and they turn out to be the perp? Is it a high percentage? Or
I can't. I couldn't tell you that statistic.
But you have
anecdotally, it does happen a lot.
Yeah,
people are more inclined to try and control the narrative, rather than I was going to kill you and disappear. Like especially when it's killings of people that are close to you, and especially if that person could be linked. If you could be linked to being with that person during the time of the killing, people often try and control the narrative. Because like, all right, I can't pretend like if you living with a loved one and you kill them, I can't pretend like I ain't see the person for a week. So I might as well be the one do the killing and stage it, and then be the one to call and then let them know that it happened. And I think we see that play out a lot on YouTube. When we were listening to the news stories and interrogation, that happens a lot. But those are usually with people that they know. Like if a person can kill somebody and not know them, and they won't do that, they won't take that route. But it usually happens with somebody when it's an intimate killing, a loved one or whatever. Like,
that makes sense. All right.
And you know what? I do have to backtrack just a little bit on something that you said, strategic, when you said that, it's not like Gabby Petito, she was a flower child and all these other things. And I just wanted to point out, because, we have a platform, we have to do this. That's the
Absolutely.
problem with a lot of things in society because of how the person looks or the things that we assume about them. A lot of people don't go looking for them when they go missing, or they don't further investigate when they get murdered because they assume, oh, was it a black or brown girl? Oh, she probably ran away. Oh, she was a black girl.
Right.
She had a strong following. Oh, yeah, we know what this was, So it's like, I just wanted to put that out there, that's something that I wish we
No,
would get out.
and that's a documented fact that missing black girls are not investigated as hard as Caucasian girls who are missing. A lot of folks who don't like the race discussion will say, "Oh, no, no, that's a fact. There's some things that are facts,
Absolutely.
and you just gotta accept the fact." You know
Yo,
what I mean?
you don't know
I
how
have
many.
a quick question about that
Okay,
though.
yeah.
As far as like missing black girls versus missing white girls, if we change the race and we and we made it a income level issue or like a class issue, like lower class girls don't get found as much as upper class girls. Does the race still tell this? Does it still tell the same story in terms of race? I don't know
Me
if you know
I've
that
personally,
off the
never
top
seen
of your
those
head.
numbers.
yeah.
I couldn't say because I haven't seen those numbers. The numbers I saw is the general numbers by race breakdown. I never saw numbers that had income involved in it as well. But I'd imagine it probably ends up being the same thing. That's
Yeah,
anecdotal.
that's
It's not scientific fact
yeah.
because people relate to people that look like them. So whether it's a poor white girl or a rich white girl, she still looks like your daughter.
Yeah.
And a 6-year-old girl doesn't have an income bracket.
Mm-hmm.
You all you see is a cute 6-year-old blonde haired, blue eyed girl that looks like your 6-year-old blonde haired, blue eyed girl. So you have more of an emotional connection to that child than an African American girl. And then we also have these built in biases where African American girls are often and boys are often viewed as older than what they are. Like for instance, I did a story. I'm sorry, I don't mean to dominate the conversation. There's
Nah,
one
it's
last
cool.
point.
It's cool.
That's fine.
I just did a story on the 17-year-old girl in Milwaukee who got killed in Burger King. And the news lady was calling her a woman.
Wow.
I mean, she's not 17, 15 years old. And they call her a woman. Even if she was 17, you still calling her a woman. She's a little girl. She's a teen who got shot in Burger King. So why are you calling her a woman for? That matters. Because society is going to respond differently if the victim is viewed as a child as compared to adult. As much as adults and tragedies would say, hey, the world is cruel. But if a child is getting hurt and consistently, we're more willing to make changes to protect children than we are for adults.
Absolutely. And the other thing is too, and that's another conversation for another day, is so many of our young black, brown boys and girls that experience, racial based traumatic experiences, even in the education system. And like I said, that's a whole nother conversation for another day, but it plays a major role in things like this. When we go missing, when they get on a college campus, like all of these things are connected. And I know, like you said, you don't want to keep bringing up race or make it a race issue, but it's affecting different domains of our lives.
See, here's my thing. Something that Rex touched on was basically saying, do you think money will make a difference when it comes to, you know, like if a black girl's missing or a white girl's missing, so to speak? I'm paraphrasing, but have we ever thought about the people that get the coverage, like as far as like the white girl or white boy that get more coverage? Can we chuck it up to that family having more finance since they have more finances, they have more resources? You get what I'm saying? As far as like getting people to look, you get what I'm saying? Like with them, but since their money's longer, they invest into more resources to get the word out there and stuff
Well,
like
that's
that.
what happened with the Gabby Petito family.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
actually were buying Google ads
Mm-hmm.
and they were using like the same spaces that we use to promote
Mm-hmm.
our videos. They were doing that to promote
Yeah.
their daughter. But I think that a lot of this race stuff is political in nature to divide us. But
Oh
when
yeah.
it comes
Oh yeah.
to this particular situation, I don't think there's any cabal or conspiracy. I just think it's human nature. I think it's, as I said before, this child looks like my child. White folks are the dominant race in this country. This is their country basically, 250 million of them, 40 million black people. And so they own the corporations. You know, they're the standard of society, the standard of movie stars, the standard of the culture. Basically, we define beautiful as that. That's why, you know, we want to dress like white folks, look like white folks, our hair and all this extra stuff. You know what I'm saying?
You think
It's
so?
just natural.
I got,
Yeah, I mean,
I got the same haircut as you guys do.
I think,
yo,
I think
look
black.
what I did. I got the white boy
Yeah.
haircut right here.
Prestige. I disagree. I think the black culture is what's most copied in society.
Well, yeah,
yo.
copy,
Yeah.
yeah, but dude, what's the billion? All right, what's bigger, hip hop clothes or Gucci Fendi clothes?
I would say Gucci Fendi clothes because a lot of these artists buy these things. So,
All right, and who designs those? Who designs that?
I
All
understand.
right,
Yes,
who
they design it.
all right, who owns the record labels?
The white people own it. But
All right, then who prints the records?
Okay, but this is what I'm trying to say. If let's just say
Their culture, bro. It's an illusion.
Yeah, but let's just say, for instance, FUBU.
Oh, wait. Before you say that, what happens when a black artist says, I don't want to rhyme about bitches and hoes in the hood anymore? What happens to them?
They sell out and start doing like they won't get the airplay that they're supposed to.
Okay, so whose culture is it?
It's theirs, but now what I'm saying is there's so many different sources.
Yeah, boy.
Listen, there's so many different sources that you don't need to go that route.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
It's the dominant culture. I don't even think hip hop culture is black culture anymore. That's basically what I'm saying. Hip hop culture ain't black culture no more.
My question to that is like, why is like rhyming about bitches and hoes considered black culture when you got like dumb bitches in every single culture, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, you know, like
folks tend to glorify bad behavior.
But then if you look at the original hip hop songs, like the OGs, like talking about like South Bronx, like they didn't talk about none of that. They talked about politics. They talked about black power,
about being oppressed and stuff
right.
like
the Furious Five. Like they talked about like things going on in like the Middle East. Tribe Called Quest. They were intellectual. They barely dropped any cuss words. Like
that's when we controlled it. That's when we controlled the culture.
Music was fun. Music like rap was fun.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Rap was fun. But I get everything you're saying, strategic. But I guess what I'm saying is we can escape that because there's so many resources, YouTube, whatever. There's so many platforms that you can put your content out there and just buck the system. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you could never fight against the billions of dollars that Sony and Warner and Def Jam and Interscope can sink into making an artist heard more. The payola. You can put your music on YouTube, but you can't afford to pay DJ Envy $10,000 to spin your track every day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
that's true.
It's their culture, bro. This is I'm starting to believe that half of this stuff is just playing into what other people want us to do. Yeah. We're being puppets, bro. We're puppets.
Which is why you can't do that, which is why you got to create your own movement. And it may not, the movement you create on your own may not come to fruition to like the billionaire level as you are now. But like, you've got to, like, we as a people need to like take control of our own and start our own movements to create our own businesses that will eventually rise up against them.
They kill our movement leaders, Rex. They kill it. They killed Martin Luther King. They killed Malcolm X, and then they gave us Benjamin Crump and Al Sharpton. Like,
don't get me started on Al Sharpton. Oh my goodness! I got no words for that, man.
Rex Wu, I wanted to ask you though, because when it came to the Asian community, right? Back in the day when they used to do movies and have Asian people and they would make them like bus boys and stuff like that, basically these type of roles. And what did the Asian community do? They said, "Buck that. We're gonna make our own movies." You get what I'm saying? And started producing their own content because it's like, yo, we don't want to partake in the roles that you want us to do. We're gonna make our own thing. And I respect that 100%. So my thing is, it's like, yo, why are we in the black community so hard-headed to do the same thing?
But I think Asians and black people are two different
type
of situations because as an Asian man, and Rex, you can answer this question better than anybody, don't you have a history and a culture you could pull on? How far back can you pull in your history and your culture?
My parents came straight from China.
So how far back is your history and culture, my brother?
Like the Chinese culture, like 5,000
Yeah,
years, over 5,000.
5,000 years.
That's a good point.
How far back can an American slave who
They can't.
doesn't have with 400 years, 500 years? That's the max back they could go, if that.
They can't even do
Because
that because
they
the
can't
slave
even do
trade.
that. Exactly. You know, once they got a plantation, they don't know who got taken from who and sold to who, so they don't have that grounding. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why we in the turmoil we in right now, because all of us is running around here with slave mentalities. We don't even realize it. You can't even have a conversation about race with a black person without them calling you a sellout if you don't say exactly what the
Yes.
Democratic narrative is.
Yes, a coon, an
Yeah.
Oreo. Yes, heard it all.
Which for me, I just don't get it, man. Because I'm just like, yo, we know, like, I honestly think every black man, every black person know how to get out of the situation that we're in, but just choose not to. Because everybody have the mentality of, well, I'm paying my bills, I got my nice little job, so I'm good. I'm comfortable where I'm at.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's like crab in the bucket mentality, pretty much.
I think it's also easier to be a victim.
Oh,
It's
That's
easier
true
to say,
too.
you
That's
know,
true too.
it's a man and it's the system that's holding me back. So yeah, you got your job and all of that, but the moment you experience some adversity, the moment you don't get that position, you're gonna say, oh well, you know, the man, you know, the white guy did it. So I don't
Yeah.
have to take accountability for the fact that maybe you didn't work as hard as that other person. And that's not to say that racism doesn't exist, because it does.
Mhm.
I think we've probably all seen it in our life,
Yeah.
but you know, that's no excuse as to why we don't build our own institution. Because when I go
Exactly.
to Chinatown, Chinatown has their own bank.
Yep.
That's not to say that black people don't have banks, but they have their own banks, their own everything in Chinatown. And even the signs are in Chinese. I feel like I'm a guest when I come down to my own Chinatown that I pay taxes to uphold. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a
Because
Chipotle in
that's
Chinese.
called it's straight unity. The McDonald's side is in Chinese, and this is freaking New York, not Shanghai. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Here in Jersey, right? The Linden, the town I grew up in, it's a street called Wood Ave. That whole strip is basically a Polish section. Same thing like Chinatown. You got another town called Island, where the Indians run it.
Yep.
Everything there. You get what I'm saying? So they all
Right.
have their downtown Newark over there. What is that? Ironbound. What is that? The whole Portuguese section, Spanish and Latino community, like everything there, Spanish. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, man, they like other cultures
We
band
need to
together.
learn, because
Yes,
we can learn from Rex and his people. We can learn from the Italian town. We can learn from Cuban town. We need to learn, man. We need to
and
learn,
you
and we
know
need to
what?
get out of each other's ways.
And Rex on his channel too speak about this a lot, like solutions and everything like that. Like, so yeah, definitely check out Rex channel, man, because yeah, he definitely be speaking a lot about things like this too, and a lot of solutions and everything like that. So yeah, man. All right, I know we kind of straight off topic. I mean, it all comes full circle
It does.
with everything that we is talking about, but okay, we're gonna segue to the last part of the live, which basically a story out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. Um, Stephen Addison, 35 years old. He just came home from the army. He's an army veteran, and he was due to go back to Buffalo to reunite with his wife and kids, 3 kids or whatever. So he's coming home from the gym. Now he is swerving through lanes and everything like that in traffic. And once he gets to a stop sign, a man by the name of 51-year-old man by the name of Roger Nobles and his son, who's also a junior, Roger Nobles, the son gets out of the vehicle and confronts him. They're having a back and forth banter. Then you see the passenger's door open, and then a gunshot go off. The dad actually shot and killed Stephen Addison. Now let me I'll play the video for everybody so that they can see it.
Just a pre-warning, this footage is pretty. It's difficult to watch.
Yeah, they kind of like it's kind of stopped or whatever, froze, so you don't actually see it, but you'll
Oh,
hear it.
good.
Yeah. All right.
shocking video showing a road rage incident quickly turned fatal. It only lasts 6 seconds. You see two men arguing near a motorcycle, the door of a truck open nearby. Then, a shot. From inside the truck, police say, killing Stephen Addison, a veteran and a father of 3.
Stephen was a great guy. People always say someone lit up a room. My husband, he lit up every room he went into.
The video, sent to NBC's Raleigh affiliate and verified through details from the police and district attorney. Roger Nobles, the man inside the truck, initially fled the scene with his son, Roger Nobles Jr., the man seen in the video arguing with Addison, according to the Fayetteville Police Department.
Who could do that? Kill somebody and then just continue on with life like you didn't just do that.
Police say when they found the men, Nobles Sr. admitted to the shooting. He was then arrested and charged with first-degree murder. The video, though brief, is revealing. WRAL spoke with security consultants who reviewed the footage and said they found the son's body language concerning, though we should note we don't know what happened before or after the video's duration.
Yeah, man, that's kind of serious. And when you look at the video too, you could see that when the shot was fired, the son didn't even bat an eyelash.
No.
Like bat an eyelash. He
Right.
just kept going, got in the vehicle. So to me, it comes off as if they saw him swerving and it was like, yo, I got something for him. You like talking amongst themselves when they pulled up to the light. It was I see it as premeditated. And the way I see it, that son should also be get some charges pressed again, or put on him or whatever.
Yeah, he didn't get charged with accessory because he did help him drive away. That's really weird.
Exactly.
And also because like I've actually studied like a lot of self-defense and firearms before. The way the son was standing, like he was clearly standing away from the door,
Absolutely.
which gave some perfect trajectory for that shotgun blast to hit to hit him. Like he was like he knew where he was standing.
Stephen Addison.
Like it looked like it was planned. That's from my perspective.
Yeah. And it's sad, man, because he leaves behind 3 kids, and the youngest being 3 years old.
Wow.
You know, that's sad, man. Tia, what's your take on it?
I don't know. I'm torn. A part of me wants to feel like, okay, because of the obvious, was it racially motivated? But at the same time, I really do feel like this was a case of road rage.
Yeah.
And I only say that because my brother, he lives in a different state. And when he left from seeing us, they're on their way back, and it was the same thing. Someone had gotten into a road rage incident, and I guess because they were by the White Castle, they took him through whatever was at their cup, and it did hit the intended targeted car, but a little bit of it got on my brother's car. And it's like stuff like that. It's like, what if he had acid in that car? I mean, in that cup.
Mm-hmm.
Or what if their window was down and that would have hit my niece in the back seat? Or what, you know what I mean? It's like people don't think when they're that angry, and it's horrible.
And I will tell you this too, man. People with road rage, like that's a serious issue.
It is.
Like people with road rage, it's like they lose train of thought. Like that's like they're warped from reality. You know.
I agree with you.
But yeah, Satiq. So what you're saying is that the son basically should have been charged some kind of way as an accessory.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when the accessory things are kind of, they're really not fair to the perpetrators because, you know, one would think somebody would say, well, you know, what if the person was just going through shock or something? It just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like if he was supposed to walk away from that car and call the cops and say, hey, listen, I was down to argue with that gentleman, but I wasn't down to kill him, and my father killed him, so please come here. That's what you're supposed to do to avoid that charge. By virtue of him getting back into the vehicle and driving off with his dad, he's an accessory.
Yeah.
You know, he's a getaway driver.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, absolutely.
so far, they only apprehended the father and got murder charges on him, but I didn't hear anything about the son.
Nothing.
So
It's not good enough. All right, so we just did that in Georgia, right? Like Gregory McMichael, even though he was the person that started it, he was in the back of the truck and he wasn't going to shoot Ahmaud Arbery.
Yep.
But his son shot him, and his son shot him while he was in the truck bed.
Yeah.
Yards away. But he still got charged with the same thing. And then William Roddy Bryant was dozens of feet back inside of his own truck. He wasn't even
Exactly.
outside of his
Yeah.
truck
It was just
when Ahmed
recording.
Arbery got
Yeah.
killed. He was recording. He had a
Yeah,
phone in his
exactly.
hand,
Exactly.
and he's doing life with parole.
Mm-hmm.
So if we could get those folks, and they did not intend to kill except for the junior, the son, why wouldn't we charge this guy's son for aiding and abetting his father to evade apprehension after he cold-bloodedly murdered a man?
Well,
So
go ahead.
so I don't want to go down this route, but I'm gonna go down this route just because it's with the topic of this entire conversation.
Yeah.
What happened in Georgia, strategic? The guy who got arrested in the back of his truck. What was his race?
This white guy.
Well, I got nothing now.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay, but I see. I think the son, I believe, is going to get charges on him because just 4 days ago they had group marches in honor of him being killed, of Stephen Addison being killed. So public outcry is going to come where they're eventually going to charge him because if you looked at the rest of that video, they were already looking into charging him.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So, I believe it's coming. I believe it's coming soon.
And a lot of times, like we'll look at this stuff and be like, "Well, why haven't they been charged yet?"
Yeah.
Well, I've been in those rooms where the district attorney is actually working out deals with that person's defense attorney. They don't want to announce the charges yet because the charges haven't been determined. Because if you don't cooperate with us, you're gonna get murder one. But we're working out that deal where you're going to testify against your father and we're going to hit you with manslaughter instead. So that could be something that's happening at the moment that we don't know about.
Yep, I agree.
And I just don't understand, even if it was a road rage incident, like I could understand, not saying I agree with it, but I can understand arguing. I can understand, even if you did get out the car and got in each other's face, but how do you get that comfortable to just pull out your gun so casually and then his son to not even twitch? And they shoot him, and then you just get right back in your car and go back to your destination. So it makes me wonder if the video was never sent in, would anything have happened? Would they have turned themselves in? Would their conscience have gotten to him? Like that's just crazy to me.
Well, when it happened, he fled. He fled.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, where's his moral compass? That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, and if you did it that casually, is this your first time? Like, are you like this
Yeah, I
can't
get
be
what you're saying.
normal?
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Like this doesn't come off as a one-time thing. This seemed like he's done it before.
Exactly.
Maybe they inbred it out. Look at them. Look how the sun looks.
It's crazy because I live in Florida. Like we shoot guns like it's like we're eating like we're drinking water. You know, like it's normal. But like every time I hear a gun go off, even if I'm like 20 feet away, I still jump a little bit.
Yeah,
there was no flinch from that shotgun blast, and he was right there too. I'm like, I don't know. Like even when I go to the range, even if I know, even when I pull the trigger, I jump, which probably means I shouldn't have a gun. Anyways, but you know, like that's the most disturbing part to me. Like it's everything just points to it being premeditated. That's
They had to exchange words or something like that.
Yeah.
They had to be like flipping off and screaming at each other throughout that whole driving situation.
They've practiced this.
Now here's the thing. I will say, once they got up, like once they started like saw him and you know he was weaving through traffic and they started mouthing off, like you said, there had to be some type of dialogue, but it still doesn't warrant shooting and killing the man.
No.
You get what I'm saying? Here's a question I have for you, Statij. Have you ever been in a situation where like your partner had to like fire his weapon or anything? And if he did it make you jump? Like, you get what I'm saying? Because I'm listening to what you said. Okay.
I haven't shot anybody. I haven't worked with anybody who's shot. You just shot their weapon at all. Well, I mean, but as professionals, we don't jump to like when you're on the range.
Yeah.
I don't jump when I hit a bullet or when I shoot. Because I've been doing it so long. I've been doing it 15 years, man. You know, shooting.
Right. So, if you're out patrolling now and you hear it, you'll be like, oh, you get what I'm saying? Yes, no?
Not really, man. Like
Oh man, you
we've had people
Superman,
shoot
man.
before.
That's that
No,
PTSD
Yeah,
from
that's the
growing up.
PTSD kicking in.
Yeah,
we're looking at where it's coming from. Like, oh, it's
yeah,
that way.
yeah,
Let's go. That's
yeah,
what you pay us to go run towards that stuff.
yeah.
You know
That
what
is
I mean?
true. That is true. That is true. That's very true. I was about to say
There's
something.
coward clauses in police departments. So if
Yeah.
you don't go towards the fire, you get fired if you're a coward.
I was about
It's,
to say
there's
something.
some like down south they call it coward clause. It's like north where I'm at, New York,
Yeah.
place like that, Jersey. They'll call them failure to take action. You'll get fired.
Mm. Oh, okay.
Can't run away.
Makes
I,
sense.
I I was about to say something, but I ain't want Tia to call me misogynistic.
No, go ahead. Go right ahead.
Damn, bro.
Nah, because I was gonna say, whenever you see a lot of these videos, man, and no knock on women officers, but when you see them, a lot of them be, shaking and scared and running for cover and stuff like that.
Yeah, you
Listen,
laughing a little too hard over there, but okay.
I like to push your buttons because she'll be quick to be like, hold up, let me tell you, and go in. So, but yeah,
that's so some people, period, men and women, are not
yeah,
equipped to be cops.
yeah.
I will
It's
say
men
though
and
that
women, men
regardless
and
of the
women.
fact that some of these ladies is a fact, they'll hold under the pressure a little bit. You have to have female cops
Yeah. Oh yes.
because they
Yeah.
bring a dynamic to the job that is so valuable.
Hmm.
And so, and how many times do we actually get in shootouts versus how many times do we have an irate guy that a female cop can bring down?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Or a child who's just been victimized that will only open up to somebody that looks like their mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Just
not all of
yo,
us can be commandos, and
There's a
yo,
I
there's,
don't think that we should be looking for that either.
just like that.
there's a power in
Oh,
sorry.
go on. Nah, go ahead, Rex. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say there's a power in compassion and vulnerability that can accomplish things that no amount of brute force ever could.
Which is
Like
what I was about to get into, because Strategic did
Hmm.
had a live where he walked through the woman cop who was trying to de-escalate and talk to the guy that had the gun pointed at his head
mm,
until the
Mhm.
partner came in, loaded up the shotgun, ran and got the shotgun, and then shot the guy. When she was
Mm.
talking to that guy, like she was like the guy was responding and she was actually getting to him until the partner came till the partner came and shot him and killed him. And the best part, well, the part that stood out to me was when Strategic was like, Officer such and such, they are going to be smashing your wife. Because
oh,
he's gonna be doing 25 years or something like that, right? He's gonna be doing some
Yeah.
time. So he was like, yo, they are going to be smashing your wife, bro.
You don't see that waiting for him. Just can't wait for him.
he didn't
Yeah,
take that
I
one all the way
started
through, did he?
cracking up, yeah.
You get lonely, man. Times get lonely out here, man.
It
I'll
is
take
what
care of
it
the
is,
family,
man.
bro.
It is what it is.
Yeah. And
Yo,
it's just funny because she's walking out the court with him. I'm like,
yeah,
girl, you're not going to
exactly,
Because
exactly. Like,
when you work in a prison, you see it. And I worked in a
yeah,
prison for many years.
yeah.
You see, it doesn't last, bro.
Yeah,
It
yeah, yo.
doesn't last.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure in his mind he know. He gotta know.
Yeah,
He gotta
he's
know.
like,
He
I'm
gotta know.
done, bro.
Yeah. Cause I knew women that like had a dude that was locked up, and everything they tell me is like, yo, I could do whatever I want to do, but he say, don't tell me. I don't want to hear nothing of it. Like just act
Wow.
oblivious to it, like
Wow.
it's not happening.
Just take that
Yeah,
phone call.
yeah,
That's it.
exactly. That's it. Yeah, like what could you
Yeah,
do? What could you do? It is what it is.
nothing,
Mhm.
Yeah. So
nothing.
yo, man,
Right?
this was definitely a good talk or whatever, especially for Rex Wu. This was actually his first YouTube live.
Oh,
Ever.
that's what's up, Rex.
Yeah.
Nah,
Nice.
thanks for
Yeah,
having me
man.
on. This was dope.
Yeah, definitely. This was definitely a fun conversation and everything
Yeah.
like that. We don't want to take up everybody's time for the evening so they can get ready to go to sleep, put the kids to bed and everything like that. Oh, let me shout out Aki. Aki's in the building. Erica Brown is in the building. Erica Pierre's in the building. And let me see. I don't see anybody else in there. So, but yeah, this was fun, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely had a good time. Everybody that tuned in, we appreciate you supporting the channel, supporting the live stream, your commentary and everything like that. And
Yes.
definitely join Matter of Opinion. Subscribe to Matter of Opinion. Subscribe to Strategic Eye Show. Subscribe to Rex Wu. And yeah, that's gonna do it for this live. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Y'all got anything y'all gotta say before we get up out of here?
No, it's
Uh,
nice meeting you, Rex, man. Good luck on your YouTube journey, brother. I think you're gonna do great, man. Good
Yeah,
personality.
definitely.
It's a pleasure, bro.
Definitely.
Yes. Also, I look forward to the collaborating again with you, Rex. This was
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, we definitely gonna do it again. And I love to see a collaboration with you and Rex, Fatige.
oh man,
Yeah.
Oh,
I would
okay. Yeah, come on the show.
I was actually thinking about that. I actually wrote down.
Yo.
I'm gonna like
Yeah.
a list of questions to
Yeah.
ask a police officer if we ever do
Yo.
like a one-on-one Joe Rogan, go for like 5 hours.
Whatever you want, bro.
Kinda
Just
thing.
come on
Yo,
down.
Fatige,
Let
let me
me
ask
know.
you. Do you
Mhm.
think he would do a good show with V Radio?
V Radio?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean V Radio. I haven't done a live with Rex to
Yeah.
know all that he does. Like I haven't seen all his material, but V Radio's like a facts guy.
That's
So
Rex.
both you guys.
That's Rex. That's Rex.
Yeah, I think it'd be good, but then we might fall asleep. We gotta get some comedy relief in there.
Cause yo,
V Radio gonna keep going.
yo, the first live you did with V Radio, you was like, you want to be on? I couldn't have been on. I'm listening to this live. I'm like, yo, with all these statistical numbers, I would just be sitting there like this, like.
That sounds like it's right up my alley.
Yeah. Tia would go in on that. She would go in.
Yo,
On
V
especially-
Radio's a nice guy. He'll
Yeah.
let any of y'all on his show, so
Yeah.
just reach out, man. Come on and
Definitely,
join the
definitely.
Discord
Okay.
and reach out. So Rex, join my Discord. Reach
Yeah.
out to V Radio.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
great
send me a
guy,
link.
great conversation.
Yeah, Tia, I would love to see you do a show with V Radio. I would
Oh,
love
yeah.
to see that too.
Let's do
Yeah,
it.
definitely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been fun. So call it a night, and we got to definitely do this again sometime. And it
Don't
is
forget
what
to
it is.
subscribe to all of our channels.
Yes.
I want to say something because somebody wrote asked in the channel if PFA SEAL Team is my YouTube channel. No, that's another guy named Rex Wu.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Put your link. Let me send put your link in the whatchamacallit, if I could get out a full screen with this.
All right. I think
You got it?
yeah.
All right.
All right. I just dropped the link in the matter of
message.
opinion.
Okay.
stream. Yeah. Cool.
You should have your stream going too.
Yeah, it is going right now. I got a.
Okay.
yeah.
All right, bet. So yeah, you posted it, and I'm gonna put it in the description of this video also for your channel and Strategic's channel. So this way everybody, can subscribe and everything like that.
Mhm.
All right, everybody.
My Discord is inside of the chat. Rex.
Yeah, definitely.
Aki posted it.
Yeah,
All right.
his Discord be on and popping. We still trying to build ours, whatever.
No,
yeah, man.
I don't want to hear it because
No.
I have been posting
You have, but
10 things a day and you don't
You
even look
have.
at it.
You have, but since I went back into the workforce, it'd be crazy, man. It'd be crazy.
No excuse.
So- She's like coulda, woulda, shoulda. I don't want to.
Exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely join his Discord. Definitely join Strategic Eyes Discord. Our Discord is in the link in the description and everything like that. So, all right, everybody, have a good night, and we will catch you guys on the next one.
Good night.
Peace.